Hello everybody, and thank you WCN for this incredible opportunity to speak at the WCN Expo. This is the first time that I'm actually speaking to you from Niassa Special Reserve, this beautiful, magnificent place that has my heart. It has also been our home for the last 19 years. And when I was reflecting on what I wanted to say to you today, I was left with this feeling of being really overwhelmed with the IPCC report that came out with the code red for humanity, with the climate crisis, with everything so many people have suffered in the last 18 months in their families, with their livelihoods. It is really important to me that what I say to you from our project is not trite, that it fits into a larger puzzle of us making conservation the very fabric of society. That I use this opportunity to speak to you as a gift, because visibility is a gift, and it's a gift that not everybody has. And so while I was reflecting on what I wanted to say and what I've learned in the last year since I spoke to you last, it all comes back to home. And I think if I ask you what it is that is home to you, you would talk about the feelings and the smells and the people that are around you. Because home is not a place, and it's not a building. It is a feeling and it is a belonging. And I think that home is what we have to make conservation about. It's about protecting our home, whether that be just outside our front door or whether that be the earth, which is our home and the only home we have. And so that is going to be the center of what I am going to talk to you about, and what the Niassa Lion Project is focused on is home. As I sit here, I can hear all these birds around me. I can hear the Legenda River right next to me. I know that soon the impalas are going to have their fawns, and that they will have them at exactly the right moment, so that when the rains come in November, the grass is ready for them when they wean. I know that the warthog, the piglets, are going to be coming out of their burrows soon, and that they also will be waiting for the rains. I know that this is the hardest month, October, when we have more conflict with people because they are food stressed and because they have run out of food after the long dry season. I know this because Niassa is home. And the people who work with us, the 85% of our staff who are from Niassa, who live here, they know this, and they know how to protect this landscape because it's home. So where am I? If you were to zoom out, you would see that I'm sitting on a canvas chair in a mud flat. I've got no shoes on, and I'm right next to the Legenda River. You can actually hear it in the background. Zoom out further and you will see Niassa Special Reserve, which is in northern Mozambique. It lies midway between the coast and Pemba and to Lake Malawi to the west. It is bordered by Tanzania in the north of us. It is a huge wilderness area that is important both globally and nationally. It is managed in a co-management agreement by the government of Mozambique, the National Administration of Conservation Areas, as well as the Wildlife Conservation Society and many other partners. There are 60,000 people who live across 43 villages inside the protected area. The Niassa Lion Project, that's us, started in 2003. Who are we? We vary in age from 20 to 72. We are Muslim, we are Christian, we are atheist, and we go to a sacred site before we open our Mpopwa tourism camp. We have PhDs, we have degrees in agriculture, we are non-literate. We are passionate about the place and its wildlife. We are also passionate about the well-being of people. We want a future in which people and the large carnivores like lions, spotted hyenas, African wild dogs and leopards can live together and thrive. That is our mission and that is our vision. We have 5 long-term goals that are over 25 years long. The first is to look at all the threats to these large carnivores and find a way to reduce them. These are mainly bushmeat snaring for protein, poisoning for the illegal wildlife trade, retaliatory killing, because lions and these large carnivores are scary to live with and attack people as well as livestock. We also find ways to integrate everything that we do with the people who live here, to share what we have learnt, from our wildlife clubs across the reserve to bringing the children out into these beautiful areas here, so that it's not only ecotourists who see it. We try and look for innovative models, for ways to make sure that the people who live here have decision making in conservation and that they are receiving the revenue and benefits from conservation activities. And over it all, we do monitoring, not research, so that we can see if we're being successful or not. This is adaptive governance and adaptive management at its best, because things are changing fast here and we need to adapt to new models of conservation. Conservation's not an individual endeavor. It's not a research project. I am not a conservation hero. I've never done anything heroic in my life. Conservation is made up of 1,000 small steps that come together to create the conservation outcome that you want. You might wonder why you haven't seen any lions. It's because conservation is a whole number of strands that pull it together. The grass that the women collect for our thatched roofs and our ecotourism camp that earns them $12,000. The piri-piri that we use for the human-wildlife conflict to keep elephants away through fences. The carpenters who are locally trained and make beehives for our elephant-friendly honey product, which we sell in shops across Mozambique. We offer 20,000 workdays in seasonal services in conservation that provides work and an income and a livelihood. We eat the local fish and measure the fish because it forms a really important protein source for people who live here. And of course we have our Kushirika craft group that are using resources from their village and waste in their village to make these beautiful crafts, especially the quilts that are in our ecotourism camp and were given to the president of Mozambique. Because conservation is art and conservation is life. We have artists who come and paint the school, and that is part of our values. Our community scouts come from the community, both men and women, to protect their village from snares, to protect their wilderness and their environment. We monitor through camera traps to assess what's happening with the leopards and the lions here and their prey. And we slowly get the pictures of what's happening in this incredible wilderness, with Eusebio and Samuel and their teams monitoring the lions with satellite collars so that we can protect them better. And of course everybody has to be fed, from the 350 children at the school to all our staff who live on site. It takes everyone in our ops room to be able to monitor the lions in the vehicles and keep people safe on 24-hour radio duty, to remove the snares but provide alternatives at the same time. Opportunities to learn are one of our key values, from computer courses to make sure that everyone has access to this technology, to teaching people about poison with experts from South Africa and the Endangered Wildlife Trust. We need the mechanics who keep our 30-year-old Land Rovers on the road and are all from the village down the road. We bring the children in trucks so that they can come for bush visits, to spend 4 nights with us, so that the ecotourism experience is not only from foreigners from far away, but for everyone to appreciate the beauty of the place that they live and to get connected into it and to move them towards stewardship. And sometimes the children are with us when we remove snares from lions that have been caught next to the village, and are able not only to see a lion close up for the first time in their lives, but to understand that the bushmeat that they eat has consequences for lions. And most of all, it's about making conservation fun and bringing it into the fabric of society through the Lion Fun Days, who have been going on for so many years, through art and dance and song and life and joy, and bringing conservation into culture so that it becomes home and it becomes part of our lives. This is a time of unprecedented change and uncertainty in the world today. And what if our conservation models that we currently have are not going to meet the challenge? What if we took our program that now has 85% people from who actually live here? When does it become the community? What if our 60 Lions Scholars who have been on scholarship since 2013 are now coming back and have graduated university and are leading conservation programs? What if we have 47 citizens from Niassa collecting information around the whole reserve that are connected through a WhatsApp group and helping their communities live with elephants and lions and leopards? And what if we bring together the disparate partners in Niassa, from the ecotourism operators to the sport hunting operators to the reserve management to the communities to everybody, and bring them together under a common objective and find ways to protect the carnivores that live here in ways that are just and create peace? And what if we look beyond Niassa Reserve and find partners like the Mozambican Wildlife Alliance and Still Standing, who bring their social activism and their skills to create communities of conservationists across Mozambique and work together with the government of Mozambique under shared values? And what if we are just one project across Africa that is supported by the Lion Recovery Fund of the Wildlife Conservation Network, where we can share our information under a common objective to stop the decline in lions and to make sure that they persist into the future? And what if we bring together women African conservation leaders across Africa through We Africa, and we share our stories and we support each other and we learn how to do leadership differently so that we can actually change the way conservation is done? And what if you join us because you have common values and we all start to protect our home, whether that is outside the front door or whether that is across the world? And what if we actually let go of our ego and our need for acknowledgement, and we start to just focus on home and we start to do this together? What if? What then?